We told you, don't let them use your bodies on the front line for this. But you put yourself out there in the front, made yourself visible, and now you've given him his opportunity and his reasoning to deploy the National Guard. And we know it's wrong. ICE is coming and separating families and taking children away from their mothers, fathers away from their families, mothers away from their families. It's wrong. But when it comes to us and our bodies, they're not going to be taking us away. They're just going to pew and unalive us. They couldn't wait for this opportunity. We told you, don't use your bodies on the front lines for this. And now we got something else to deal with.
Hello family, welcome once again to another episode on my YouTube channel. On our episode today, we'll be paying attention on protests triggered by ICE raids and arrests in Los Angeles. Several days of protests erupted in response to coordinated ICE enforcement actions that resulted in the apprehension of dozens of undocumented individuals. Federal officials warned that enforcement of operation would continue across the next 30 days. This move has made Americans stand as one, many joining hands to protect Mexicans and Latinos from forceful eviction. Children have not been spared, some of them facing deportation with their parents. The controversy remains, with different reactions from both white and black Americans. Let's watch the following videos.
I just want to say that if you are thinking about making a video about why you're not protesting, please don't. And if you have already made a video in the midst of ICE raids happening all over the country and as protests break out in LA where Donald Trump has now sent the National Guard, I highly encourage you to delete it. Not only is it insensitive, it is also centering you in a moment that is devastating communities across the country. And a lot of you will clap back and say, well, I didn't vote for this. And well, neither did I. And I can guarantee you that most people that are being impacted by the ICE raids also did not vote for this, because it is illegal to vote in a national election if you are undocumented. But also, this is about moral code. If you truly believe in human and civil rights, you believe that those are rights that should be granted to anyone and everyone, not just the people who politically agree with you all the time. And there's also this misconception that the only people being impacted by the ICE raids are brown folks. There are also black people, a part of the diaspora, that have also been impacted by these ICE raids. And even if they weren't, if we know anything about the history of this country, it is only a matter of time before they come for us.
I will not be going out there and protesting. I will not be putting my body on the line. I will be doing what I can in other ways, but as a black woman, after those election results and also after a lot of the racism I've experienced from the community that is currently being targeted, I am not going to go outside and put my body and my safety on the line. That being said, I'm not saying people should not go out and protest. If it's in your spirit to go out there and help in that way, definitely do that. But I am not going to do that for someone who would not piss on me if I was on fire, if the roles were reversed. Because, like, let's be serious. We all saw the results. I mean, I know my husband's going to go out there. He's white, so he's going to go out there and do what he can do. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I don't think anyone should feel pressure to do it. It's really messed up, and I'm hoping that there are other ways that I can help, but like, this is not it. This is not my call to action.
Hey guys, real quick, if you're in LA right now and you're rioting and you're using the Mexican flag, please stop doing that. Use the American flag, because I'm just gonna let you know right now, to the right wing, it looks like an invasion. We know that it's not an invasion. We know that all of the Mexicans, you guys live there. We know that people are getting taken out of their workplace, out of schools. You guys are all hardworking people. We are hardworking people. They're not taking criminals. They're taking people that are serving the community. To the right wing, it looks like when you're waving the Mexican flag that there's an invasion. There's not. LA has the highest Mexican population outside of Mexico. Okay, you need to be waving the American flag. You're fighting for your rights. You guys live there. California is Mexico, okay? So please, it looks so much better for optics if you guys are waving the American flag. You guys are the most American Americans. Wave that flag. Wave the American flag. Put the Mexican flag away. I know that you're proud and you should be proud. But be a proud American when you're protesting, okay? Don't wave the Mexican flag. I'm just letting you guys know how it looks from the other side. With you guys. I'm with you guys. But I'm just letting you guys know how it looks, okay? So be smart about it when you're protesting. That is all. Wave the American flag, you guys, okay? Please. Please.
Please let all of the insane and atrocious footage coming out of Los Angeles of federal agents with masks shooting into crowds of people bring back into the fore, into the mainstream, the demand to wholesale abolish ICE. I, and likely many of the people that are watching this video, are older than ICE is as an agency. That agency was created in March of 2003. The Department of Homeland Security, November of 2002. Let's not get it twisted. This is an agency whose primary purpose is to sow discord and rip communities and families apart in the way that we are seeing unfold in mass here in Los Angeles. And they're using billions and billions of our hard-earned tax dollars to be able to pull off terrorizing and ripping apart all of our communities. And that pool of like multiple $billion that is currently ICE's budget has just continued to balloon year after year after year, no matter who is in office, no matter who is in charge of the Congress. Like, we cannot let politicians continue getting away with the whole, like, immigrants are welcome here, heart facade that they use to win elections, while they continue to arm up the organizations that terrorize our communities. And some, like the Gavin Newsoms of the world, swear 10 toes down that they're not collaborating with ICE in any way, shape, or form. They're just doing what they need to keep the peace in our communities. Tell me what is so peaceful about mobilizing, like, state forces against constituents engaging in direct action against federal agents that are declaring war on their own citizenry. Like, I need someone to explain this to me quickly. In summation, abolish ICE is the bare minimum. ACAB really goes in the same bucket. And direct action is one of the few things that are keeping our communities afloat at the moment, because no police force has the capabilities to keep us safe the way that we keep us safe.
Folks do know that Mexicans, Hispanics, and Latinos are not the only immigrants in the United States of America. For all the black folks out there, real quick, y'all do realize folks from the Caribbean are considered immigrants. Folks from the continent of Africa are considered immigrants. So when you say as black folks, this is not our fight, or you're sitting it out because they voted for this, who is the they? Because people from Latin American countries are not the only people that are getting kidnapped by ICE. And folks being deported are not citizens and therefore cannot vote. The biggest content creator on this app was detained by ICE. He is not Latino or Hispanic. He is black and actually has European citizenship, from Italy to be specific. So where's the line? Because y'all do know Shirley Chisholm, both her parents are from the Caribbean. Marcus Garvey, Jamaica. Malcolm X's mother is from Grenada, and that's not a state in the South. And for everyone still talking about the election, but somehow anti-immigrant and immigration, y'all do know Kamala Harris's parents are immigrants.
Now they're saying that the protests aren't peaceful because they're planting people at the protest to instigate the situation. This man was on here earlier and he said that they were throwing cinder blocks through cars and they were vandalizing things. Isn't this the same thing that happened during BLM back in 2020? Y'all remember who the president was during that time, right? This is what they do. This is in their playbook. They instigate a situation. Then when people try to have peaceful protest, they deem them violent because they strategically plant individuals with masks on to make these protests violent. And they did the same thing during the BLM. And during that time, people were saying that we were violent. They said we weren't peaceful protesting when we were. But there were individuals there who were setting fires. There were individuals there who were throwing bottles of, I believe, like Mai Tais or whatever, through windows of stores and whatnot. It's the same thing. They do this. This is in their playbook. They're using these individuals as an example for something that they're going to focus on later. They're just trying to see how far they can get in this.
Jail time, deportations, and felony charges? Oh my. Based on what I'm seeing and hearing, the madness has gotten completely out of control in Los Angeles. They are attacking cops, burning cars, burning buildings, taking VA hospitals hostage, throwing Molotov cocktails, and whatever else they can get away with, all while flying the flag of other countries. Oh, the audacity. What annoys me is watching this on the news because it's starting to look kind of like BLM. It's kind of looking like the so-called Summer of Love and the BLM riots, where the cops were just pretty much attacked relentlessly, and they used as little force as possible. And they really were put in very dangerous situations and allowed many dangerous situations to happen that should not happen on the streets, and that should not happen against law enforcement. Law enforcement looks weak. They are looking weak. The crowd is walking toward them and they're moving backward instead of showing some power and some force. And maybe if that is what the police would do, maybe these people would stop this mess. But hey, it is what it is. I'm just going to sit back and watch. But I hope all of those people that are out in the street causing chaos, if they come from another country, send their butts back. If they're American citizens and they're causing chaos, lock them up. I hope all of them get locked up, just like they didn't get locked up during the BLM riots. They let them get away with everything. Even silly old Maxine Waters is out there acting a fool and showing her ass, something that she's really good at. But anyway, oh well, I guess I'll just keep watching the carnage.
This is a message for the Black community and those who support it. We are still resting, but there is a tide shift. For one, 47 is very confused as to why we are not taking to the streets. He doesn't understand it. He just knew that using tax dollars to tear up the Black Lives Matter street, that was going to do it. Tearing down the buildings with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, he was sure that floating the rumor of pardoning Derek Chauvin would do it. His executive order to bring back segregation, all of his attacks on DEI, even though Black people benefit the least from DEI, he was sure that would do it. It hasn't. And one thing that they didn't plan on at the end of the election, something that happened on November 5th, 2024, is when we all went into the voting booth and voted, and we were the only demographic that was united and held strong for democracy in this country. The 92% of Black women who knew the assignment and knew what the stakes were, because we always do. The 78% of Black men who held it down because they knew what would happen if they didn't. The Black community knew the assignment. We became on the same wavelength. When Target did their thing, we collectively made them an example. Walmart, also losing money. Amazon, also losing money. Now, granted, allies that support the Black community, the LGBT community, women, they've all been a part of that too. But Black people have collectively been on the same wavelength. But in Trump's desperation to get us out into the streets, he is becoming more and more dangerous with his executive orders. On April 28th of this year, he signed an executive order. The executive order is titled Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Citizens. Now, we all know that Trump don't give a crap about innocent citizens, because if he did, he would care about due process, and he wouldn't try to get rid of habeas corpus, because that is how you know that a citizen is innocent or not. So what they want to do in this executive order is give cops more power and permission to profile, to brutalize people that they just think are guilty. That means us. He is trying to create another George Floyd, another situation that will get us into the streets. I say this so that we all can be cautious and we can all see and know what he is trying to do. This executive order further militarizes the police that were already militarized with tanks and riot gear that apparently they do not need when people are protesting that are of a lighter shade, but they need it for us. This also further protects law enforcement officers who are accused of misconduct or police brutality. Protects them because we know that they need to make it home to their families, but you don't need to make it home to yours. They fear for their life, even though they're the ones holding the weapon and pointing it at your back. This executive order also does something that we have already seen. This executive order threatens state and local officials who discriminate by enacting diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. If state and local officials are being inclusive, advocating for diversity and equity, they can be charged with discrimination charges. Now, Trump's DOJ's Civil Rights Department, who have defended the civil rights of people for 70 years now, they are no longer defending the rights of Black and brown people, LGBT people, women, all of those people who are usually discriminated against. They are no longer going to be representing them. So if you have an issue of discrimination, the DOJ will no longer represent you because of discrimination. Make it make sense. They will now be focusing their attention on discrimination against white Christian people because they are the most discriminated group by far. Yeah. Now, I say all this to say there's a tide shifting. Even though Black people are resting, we are focusing in on our communities, our Black-owned businesses, our children, our education, all of that. Yes, we need to continue doing all of that. I have seen a shift in the boldness of these racist people. Neo-Yahtzee rallies and marches up there in Kansas City. YT women calling little autistic Black children the N-word, getting $750,000 for that. But then there have been videos of Black people letting those racist people know who think we are going back to the 1930s during the times that we were hanging in trees, that they were having picnics with us as the main course. Times where they could tell us which swimming pools to swim at, which water fountains to go to, where to sit on the bus. Alabama today is trying to resegregate its schools. Problem is, Black people like me were born into freedom. It's going to be real hard to put that genie back in the box. So even though Black people are resting, we're not going back to 1930. We are a different breed. But I say, be cautious, because 47 has already started putting things in place, specifically for us, because he wants us to protest. And when we protest, he will enact martial law. And he already has the orders in place to do that. We need to know the enemy that we are fighting. So what do? Stay out of the street. Do not protest, no matter what happens. What we will do is we will continue to organize and protest with our wallets, cheer on our allies who are out in the street, strengthen the Black community, and to be there for each other. We will continue to support Black-owned business with our wallets and our presence. We will continue to be united as we were on the 5th of November 2024 when we tried to save this country. We will continue to do what we do best, thrive in our excellence, even during the hardest times. Love y'all. I don't usually.
So I have been seeing videos, hearing horrible stories of just unimaginable things that are happening to families that are being deported. And I don't know, I just felt that like I had to come and make a video and stand with my people, because if I can be making videos of baking, if I could be making videos of dancing, if I could be making videos of beautiful things happening in my life, I also have to advocate for people that need us to stand up and talk about these things, because the raids that have been happening, that I have been seeing so much in LA, and it breaks my heart because I'm over here in Houston now, and it shouldn't be happening, you know. And for people that are Republican, for people that are Democrat, I just feel like you know what's right from wrong. And if you don't know, then there has to be a little bit of checking in with yourself to try to justify the things that are happening. Parents being taken while their kids are graduating is not okay. Parents being taken right after their immigration hearings or immigration to check where their status are is not okay. Little kids being at hearings by themselves is not okay. Little kids not understanding why their parents are being ripped from them is not okay. And people that want to say, they didn't do it the right way, they did it illegally. Where was this energy for the food that you have on your plate? Where is this energy for a late night after coming out and vendors selling food? Where is this energy for the contractors that you hire that have all these undocumented persons building your homes, your businesses, cutting your lawns? The insanity of not thinking that my people build up your community that you are now living in and having the privilege of being in is insane. And that's why I felt so weird coming over here and talking about these things, because I'm just like, I feel helpless, right? And thinking like, what is this video gonna do? But what this video does is unites. What this video does is proves that we are seeing, we are listening, and we stand together. And the more that people talk about this, the more it gets publicized that we as people are not okay with the things that are happening. And we need to stand up. Even with just having 600 followers that I have on this platform, if it comes across to some people to speak up, to go to the protest, to spread the word, it's doing something. And I was like, I feel silly sometimes talking about certain things like this, but it's like, why should I feel silly about me feeling uncomfortable, about people feeling uncomfortable of what we're seeing, because we know it is wrong. And it doesn't matter where you stand, if you're Republican, if you're Democrat, if you're Christian, if you're not Christian. Like, once again, we know what is right from wrong. And certain things that are happening, not only within my community, but within the world, we have to stand up and talk about these things, because they will not bully us.
It is clear enough, Trump administration isn't holding back the ongoing raids in Los Angeles. Severely, people want the ICE department to be scrapped out as it continues to deport even legal, law-abiding citizens. What do you think? Should ICE remain, or should it be dismantled? Do you support the forceful eviction of illegal immigrants? Leave a comment and let's engage. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you, family. Bye.